It is the time of year when brides-to-be start ramping up their wedding planning. Whether you have one coming up in the busy summer season or later in the fall, we have got some expert advice on the hottest new trends for receptions, brides and grooms, and even how to save a few bucks. Sherry Smith is a local wedding planner, coordinator, and designer. So glad that you're here.
Thank you.
And she brought some great items with her to share with all of us, and also has some fantastic advice on how to save money on your big day. So let's talk about trends and saving money and what you brought here. Let's start with the pie pedestals.
The pie. How about the pies?
The pies.
And the pie, the buffet. Many couples are going away from the traditional wedding cake and having like a dessert buffet. And in this case, we're showing a pie buffet. And I have one of my clients who is actually having her family make all the pies for the wedding. So in that regard, she saved all the money that she would have spent maybe on a wedding cake.
Great.
Which was a great way to do that.
Yeah, a great way to save money. Plus, you can do different pies.
Yes.
You can change it up.
Or cheesecake.
Love that idea.
Chocolate.
Yes.
Any chocolate.
Yes, and you can't have a wedding without flowers.
Right.
These are beautiful,
Right.
and we are so lucky to live in the Pacific Northwest with just an array of lovely flowers with the farmers markets. What flowers and colors are in this year?
Did you know, though, that the farmers markets just opened last weekend? Several of them just opened, but the colors of flowers are just vary. It's whatever a bride really likes is what her color is going to be.
Okay.
But I'm seeing a lot more oranges and burnt oranges this year, and bright pinks and purples. But if you go to the farmers market, you can check out what they have in the bouquets, and if you go down maybe a week or two before your wedding, you can pick out just exactly what you want, and the grower will be glad to bring you 30 or 40 of those bouquets for your wedding.
Just beautiful.
Oh, at a fraction of the cost.
Fraction of the cost, which is important. Okay, talk about guest books versus guest photos and other options that can save you some money.
Well, there is still the photo frame mat that's very popular still for your guests to sign. And this is a beautiful book made by a local photographer. She took the engagement photos and she leaves these pages blanks so that they can be signed by the guests and best wishes. But if you go to any of your photo.coms, they will also allow you to make your own guest book for almost as much the cost or less than what you might find even at Joann's or Michael's, which is, you know, pretty less expensive there. But this one in the front was made by one of my clients for $20.
20 bucks. And it's beautiful. And this is something that you can keep on your coffee table and flip through.
Absolutely.
You can see it more often than if you had some sort of guest book with just signatures. Okay, so candy. But aside the fact that it's colorful and beautiful and it's great to snack on, if you don't mind, I'm going to take a gummy worm here.
In fact, take it all.
why candy at the wedding reception?
People are going away from favors to save a little bit of money. A typical candy buffet through a vendor may cost you about $4 per person. Doing it yourself is about $1 per person. You can just take any of your vases or candle holders that you have at home, which is what I did, and just fill them with candy. Keep them filled with candy throughout the night, and your guests will have a great time.
Yes, I love it. I'm going to take another. Okay, so now talk about trends for brides and grooms and pops of color. So what is it for the bride new this year?
The brides are wanting to be a little bit unique in their wedding attire, so they're choosing the colored shoe. They've been doing this for a few years, but the brightness is what's new this year because they're really bright and they're beautiful. And I just noticed this just about 10 minutes ago that there's a little heart on the back of this one.
And a little leopard pattern as well.
I know, I just love these.
That's beautiful.
But the red is wonderful.
Yes, so red with the white dress, a nice pop of color. And how about a suit versus a tux for the guys?
Suits are not quite as popular still as tuxes, but the men are wanting to put their own stamp on their individuality, and so they're buying suits so they can wear them later.
Oh, that's great. Now, on a budget, let's go through. You have about 6 different things that you can do to help save you a few bucks. You say hire a wedding planner. That goes against what most people would think because you think that would be costly. Why do you say do that?
The wedding planner has made relationships with their vendors. So in many cases, they're going to have things that are less pricier than what you might find. Plus, it's going to save you a lot of time in searching. And
you also say rent from a venue that allows you to bring your own alcohol. Why?
Yes. because it's a lot cheaper
Yes.
to bring your own alcohol.
Than to have them provided.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you why, in a sense, because some venues will allow that. But for instance, I am not a connoisseur of wine, so I don't mind a $10 or even a $5 bottle of wine. And usually it's at least an $18 corkage fee at a venue. So an average price of bottle of wine would be even $35 to $40. So if you do the math there, you can save at least $10 if you can bring your own bottles of wine
Great
and have
money
them cork
savings.
them.
Yes, and you also say serving hors d'oeuvres, skip that, and also think about having your wedding on a Thursday, which is great advice instead of a Saturday.
Absolutely.
Sherry Smith, amazing information, beautiful table
you.
display. Thank you so
you.
much. Another gummy worm as we go out here.
Pickball.
Sherry Smith, and you can find
you.
all about Sherry Smith online. You can go to McKenzieKateWeddings.com. Matt.